Welcome to Love and Life Psychology, your space to explore the science of love, relationships, and intimacy. Today, we expose a quiet truth. Stress doesn't just cloud your mind, it undercuts bedroom confidence where it matters most. Think of stress as a full body alarm. When deadlines pile up, bills bite, or arguments linger, the brain flags threat, cortisol rises, and adrenaline surges. That response is perfect for escaping danger, but disastrous for intimacy. Elevated cortisol competes with testosterone, drains energy, tightens muscles, and diverts blood flow away from the pelvis. Add a racing mind and you get monitoring rather than feeling, scanning, comparing, judging. The more you try to force arousal, the more the body resists, because the sympathetic system screams, not safe. Men in the US, UK, and across the West often interpret this spiral as weakness, yet it is simply biology meeting psychology. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it was trained to do under pressure. Prioritize survival, not sensuality. Here's the psychology behind the struggle. Your brain is a prediction machine. If a previous encounter felt pressured or disappointing, the mind stores that moment as evidence. Next time, anticipation spikes, the threat system lights up, and the body repeats the pattern it has practiced. Breath shortens, the pelvic floor braces, and attention narrows to performance metrics instead of connection cues. That loop becomes performance anxiety, which further elevates cortisol and suppresses curiosity, playfulness, and pleasure. Without context, a man blames desire, masculinity, or his partner. With context, he sees a solvable pattern, an overactivated alarm coloring a perfectly human experience. The solution begins with clarity and compassion. First, name the state. This is stress physiology, not failure. Labeling reduces fear and breaks catastrophic thinking. Second, slow the system. Try an exhale heavy breath. Inhale 4, exhale 6 to 8 for 2 minutes to nudge the parasympathetic brake. Third, shift the goal from performance to connection. Treat intimacy as exploration rather than a test. Slower pacing, eye contact, curiosity, pressure-free pauses. Fourth, protect testosterone basics, consistent sleep, strength training, and sunlight in the morning. Finally, limit hidden stress multipliers like excessive alcohol, doom scrolling at night, and unresolved conflict that keeps the alarm humming. Confidence returns when safety returns. Safety grows from predictability, calm breath, supportive self-talk, and open conversation. Share expectations, ask for slower tempo, and agree that intimacy is a skill you practice together. In this series, we will map the territory step by step, how stress reshapes hormones and blood flow, how thoughts amplify tension, and how practical habits reset the body for desire, comfort, and connection. By the end, you will have a simple, science-backed toolkit to steady your mind, ease your body, and rebuild bedroom confidence naturally, without gimmicks, without shame, and with genuine respect for yourself and your partner. Think of this episode as your reset button. Fewer mixed messages from the brain, more clear signals to the body, fewer anxious loops, more grounded presence, fewer quick fixes, more lasting confidence built on awareness, practice, and honest connection. The science of stress and testosterone. Stress isn't just a feeling in your head, it's chemistry in your bloodstream. To truly understand why men lose confidence in the bedroom, we have to zoom in on what stress does to the male body at a hormonal level. The star of this story is testosterone, the hormone responsible for energy, drive, muscle strength, and of course, sexual desire and performance. When life feels overwhelming, your brain activates what psychologists call the fight or flight response. The hypothalamus sends emergency signals, your adrenal glands flood your body with cortisol and adrenaline, and your system prepares to deal with the threat. This is perfect if you're running late to catch a train or avoiding an accident, but in the bedroom, it works against you. Elevated cortisol suppresses testosterone production, reduces sperm quality, and limits blood circulation to the areas that matter most for intimacy. That's why so many men under chronic stress feel drained, distracted, and unable to perform even when they want to. Here's where psychology ties into biology. The male body isn't designed to separate work stress, financial pressure, or relationship tension from sexual performance. To your nervous system, it's all the same threat. So if your day has been full of arguments, deadlines, or worries, your body brings that baggage with you to the bedroom. High cortisol sends a signal that says, this isn't a safe environment for reproduction right now. It might sound extreme, but that's exactly how evolution shaped us. In ancient times, stress usually meant danger, wild animals, hunger, or conflict. The body's survival system simply pauses reproduction until the threat is gone. Fast forward to today, and the threat may just be bills or emails, but the body still reacts as though you're in danger. Now let's talk about circulation. An erection depends on strong, steady blood flow to the penis, and testosterone helps regulate that process. But under stress, blood is redirected away from the reproductive system toward your muscles and brain, preparing you to fight or flee. This is why men who feel anxious or pressured often notice difficulty staying aroused. It isn't lack of desire, it's literally biology shutting down intimacy to focus on survival. Add mental overthinking to the mix, and performance anxiety becomes a vicious cycle. The more a man worries about losing his erection, the higher his cortisol goes, and the lower his testosterone and confidence sink. The good news, science also shows that the body is highly adaptable. Just as stress can suppress testosterone, relaxation and positive lifestyle habits can restore it. Regular exercise, quality sleep, balanced nutrition, and stress management techniques like meditation or deep breathing all help lower cortisol levels. As cortisol decreases, testosterone rises again, energy returns, and bedroom performance improves naturally. In other words, the key isn't chasing quick-fix supplements, it's mastering the stress-testosterone balance. Once you understand that these changes are not about weakness, but about chemistry, you can stop blaming yourself and start addressing the real cause. So remember this, stress and testosterone are on opposite ends of a seesaw. When one goes up, the other goes down. The secret to reclaiming bedroom confidence lies in tipping that balance back in your favor. And in our next section, we'll uncover the psychological trap known as performance anxiety, a mental loop that turns one bad night into an ongoing struggle, and how men can break free from it with science-backed strategy. Performance anxiety, the psychological trap. For many men, the biggest barrier in the bedroom isn't physical at all, it's psychological. This invisible enemy is called performance anxiety, and it quietly sabotages intimacy more effectively than any medical condition. Imagine this scenario. One evening doesn't go as planned. Stress, fatigue, or distraction interfere. Instead of brushing it off as normal, the brain labels it as failure. The next time intimacy approaches, that memory resurfaces like a warning. The man starts thinking, what if it happens again? What if I disappoint my partner? These thoughts alone raise cortisol levels, triggering the same stress response we explored earlier. The body braces for failure before intimacy even begins. In psychology, this is known as a self-fulfilling prophecy. Fear creates the very outcome you're trying to avoid. This cycle is surprisingly common. In the US, therapists report increasing cases of young men, many in their 20s and 30s, experiencing erectile difficulties, not because of aging or disease, but because of anxiety and overthinking. Our modern culture fuels the problem. Social media and adult content create unrealistic standards about how men should look, perform, and last. Instead of intimacy being about connection, it becomes a performance test. The brain shifts focus from feeling pleasure to proving ability. That shift is deadly for confidence, because arousal depends on relaxation and presence, not judgment and comparison. Here's the psychology behind it. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for analysis and decision-making, becomes overactive during anxiety. Instead of letting the body's natural sexual reflexes flow, you're micromanaging every detail: heartbeat, erection strength, partner's reaction. This hyper-awareness kills spontaneity and interrupts the natural arousal cycle. To make matters worse, every anxious thought spikes cortisol, which lowers testosterone and weakens blood flow, exactly what you fear. It's like pressing the brake and the gas at the same time. The harder you try to force performance, the less responsive your body becomes. Breaking this trap requires both awareness and practice. The first step is reframing intimacy. Instead of treating it as a test, treat it as exploration. Connection, touch, eye contact, and humor create safety, and safety shuts off the brain's threat alarm. Second, learn to regulate your state before intimacy begins. Simple tools like slow breathing, mindfulness, or grounding techniques can calm the nervous system. Third, challenge the negative inner dialogue. Replace "I must perform perfectly" with "I want to enjoy this moment." Psychologists call this cognitive restructuring, and it rewires the brain's association with intimacy. Another powerful strategy is communication. Many men silently carry performance anxiety, afraid their partner will judge them. In reality, open conversation often strengthens relationships. When you share what you're feeling, you remove the pressure to act perfect and create room for patience, understanding, and teamwork. Intimacy then shifts back to what it was always meant to be, a shared experience, not a solo performance. The bottom line, performance anxiety is not a life sentence. It's a loop, and loops can be broken. By recognizing the trap, calming the mind, and reframing intimacy as connection rather than performance, men can free themselves from the cycle. In the next section, we'll explore the healthy habits and lifestyle changes that rebuild not only confidence, but also natural performance, from fitness to sleep, to nutrition and beyond. Healthy habits that rebuild bedroom confidence. Once we understand how stress and performance anxiety sabotage intimacy, the next step is to ask, what can men actually do to rebuild confidence naturally? The answer lies in healthy, science-backed habits that reset hormones, restore energy, and calm the mind. These aren't magic pills or overnight fixes, they're sustainable lifestyle choices that slowly but surely rebuild both body and confidence. Let's start with one of the most powerful tools, exercise. Physical activity is a natural stress buster. It lowers cortisol, boosts circulation, and raises testosterone. Strength training, in particular, has been shown in multiple US and UK studies to increase free testosterone levels, which directly improves libido and performance. Cardio supports blood flow, ensuring stronger and more reliable erections. And beyond biology, working out also improves body image, which reduces self-consciousness in the bedroom. Next comes sleep, the most underrated performance enhancer. Research shows that just 1 week of poor sleep can slash testosterone levels by as much as 10–15%. Quality sleep restores hormone balance, repairs muscle, and refreshes the brain. Simple steps like keeping a consistent bedtime, limiting screens before bed, and creating a cool, dark sleep environment can dramatically change energy and confidence level. In other words, better nights lead to better days and better intimacy. Nutrition is another cornerstone. The body builds hormones from the raw materials we feed it. Diets rich in lean proteins, omega-3 fatty acids, zinc, and vitamin D fuel testosterone production and support overall mood. Foods like salmon, eggs, spinach, nuts, and pumpkin seeds are often called male performance superfoods. At the same time, reducing sugar and processed junk food prevents the blood sugar crashes that fuel stress and irritability. Even hydration plays a role. Dehydration reduces energy, lowers circulation, and can contribute to fatigue in intimate moments. Think of food and water not just as fuel for work, but as fuel for connection. Of course, no discussion about healthy habits is complete without stress management techniques. Mindfulness meditation, yoga, or even 10 minutes of slow breathing each day can lower cortisol significantly. These practices train the brain to stay present, which directly counteracts performance anxiety. Men who make relaxation part of their daily routine often find they enter intimacy calmer, more focused, and more open to pleasure. It's not about becoming a monk, it's about giving your nervous system permission to relax. Finally, one habit often overlooked is reducing hidden stress triggers. Excessive alcohol, smoking, endless scrolling on social media, and unresolved conflicts in relationships all keep cortisol high. Cutting back on these habits, or replacing them with positive routines, creates mental space and hormonal balance. Over time, the compound effect of these small choices builds resilience, stamina, and confidence. The takeaway is simple: confidence isn't built in the moment, it's built in the lifestyle leading up to it. Exercise, sleep, nutrition, stress management, and positive daily habits create the foundation for consistent, reliable performance. And when men feel strong and healthy outside the bedroom, that strength naturally carries into intimacy. In the next section, we'll explore the often forgotten key to lasting confidence: emotional connection, communication, and intimacy beyond performance. Communication, intimacy, and emotional connection. Up to this point, we've looked at biology, stress, and lifestyle. But there's another powerful truth that psychology makes clear. Bedroom confidence is not just about performance, it's about connection. Men often believe that intimacy is measured by endurance, stamina, or skill, but in reality, long-term satisfaction in relationships depends on communication and emotional bonding. In surveys across the US and UK, women consistently report that feeling emotionally close to their partner is a stronger predictor of satisfaction than physical performance alone. That means confidence grows not only from testosterone and healthy habits, but also from how safe, understood, and valued a partner feels. The trap many men fall into is silence. They experience stress or anxiety in the bedroom, but never voice it, fearing judgment or rejection. This silence becomes distance, and distance fuels even more pressure. Yet research in relationship psychology shows the opposite is true. When men openly communicate about their struggles, intimacy often improves. Why? Because communication reduces the burden of perfection. It reframes intimacy as teamwork rather than a solo performance. A simple conversation like, "I've been stressed at work and it's affecting me," can turn what feels like failure into a moment of vulnerability that deepens trust. Emotional intimacy also changes the brain's chemistry. When couples share laughter, affection, or eye contact, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, rises. Oxytocin lowers cortisol, increases relaxation, and enhances sexual satisfaction for both partners. In other words, emotional closeness is biology's antidote to stress. Instead of fighting your body, you're working with it, creating an environment where arousal flows naturally. This is why therapists encourage couples to focus on small gestures of closeness, hand-holding, gentle touch, or sharing personal thoughts, because these moments build a foundation where performance pressure simply melts away. Another aspect is reframing the definition of intimacy. Too often, men equate intimacy with intercourse only, but psychologists emphasize the importance of a broader perspective. Intimacy includes cuddling, kissing, playful exploration, and simply being present. When intimacy becomes about connection, instead of ticking a box, stress loses its grip. Confidence is no longer tied to one outcome, but to the shared experience of pleasure and bonding. This reduces anxiety and creates space for spontaneity, curiosity, and fun. Of course, building emotional intimacy requires courage. It means unlearning the cultural message that men must always be strong and silent. True strength in relationships comes from honesty. And here's the paradox: men who admit vulnerability often feel more respected and desired, not less. Partners appreciate authenticity far more than forced perfection. By opening up, men not only release their own pressure, but also invite their partners into a deeper, more satisfying bond. So the takeaway is clear: confidence grows when intimacy shifts from performance to presence. By communicating openly, embracing emotional closeness, and broadening the definition of intimacy, men transform the bedroom from a place of stress into a space of connection. And in our final section, we'll tie everything together: biology, psychology, lifestyle, and communication into a holistic path that helps men reclaim their bedroom confidence fully and naturally. Reclaiming confidence, the holistic path forward. Now that we've explored stress, testosterone, performance anxiety, healthy habits, and emotional connection, it's time to bring everything together. The truth is, bedroom confidence doesn't come from one quick fix. It emerges from a holistic lifestyle where body, mind, and relationships are all aligned. Men who try to separate these areas, focusing only on supplements or only on workouts, or only on psychological tricks, often find temporary relief, but not lasting change. Real transformation happens when you combine these elements: lowering stress, balancing hormones, practicing healthy routines, and nurturing emotional intimacy. Together, they create a powerful feedback loop where confidence is not forced but naturally restored. Think of it like a chain. If one link is weak, the whole chain feels unstable. For example, you might exercise regularly, but still carry hidden stress from unresolved conflicts. Or you might eat healthy but sleep poorly, leaving testosterone levels low. Or you may be physically fit but emotionally disconnected from your partner, which still triggers anxiety. The holistic path is about strengthening every link so that no single weakness undermines your confidence. That means seeing intimacy not just as a physical act, but as a reflection of your entire lifestyle and mindset. Psychology teaches us that confidence is less about perfection and more about self-trust. When a man knows he's taking care of his body with good sleep, fueling it with the right nutrition, managing his stress, and being honest with his partner, he develops a quiet certainty. He doesn't have to perform, he simply shows up as himself, and that presence is magnetic. Partners notice the difference. Confidence built on wholeness is more attractive than any superficial performance, because it radiates authenticity and emotional safety. And in intimacy, safety is the true spark of passion. The holistic approach also prepares men for the long game. Stress will always appear, whether from work, family, or life's curveballs. But when you've built resilience through healthy habits, emotional openness, and self-awareness, those stressful moments don't derail you. Instead, you recognize them, reset with breath or communication, and return to connection quickly. That's what lasting confidence looks like, not the absence of stress, but the ability to manage it gracefully. Most importantly, this journey isn't just about the bedroom, it's about quality of life. Men who embrace holistic wellness report more energy at work, deeper relationships, stronger self-esteem, and better overall health. Confidence in intimacy becomes just one expression of a larger truth, that they feel grounded, balanced, and empowered in every area of life. And that empowerment is contagious. It inspires partners, strengthens families, and reshapes how men view themselves in society. So here's the final takeaway. Stress may have been secretly stealing your confidence, but it doesn't have to anymore. By addressing the mind, body, and relationship together, you reclaim control. Confidence is not about chasing quick fixes, it's about building a lifestyle where performance flows naturally from balance, presence, and connection. Start small, stay consistent, and remember, real strength isn't pretending stress doesn't exist, it's facing it, healing it, and rising strong. That's the holistic path forward, and every man has the power to walk it.